And did they consider like Hinckley and Squeaky? They were all kind of nuts. Oswald was a little off. Did they consider him to be really off, or was he just?
I never read anything where they officially said that he was mentally incapacitated in any way. I personally think he's kind of a schizophrenic because he had delusions of grandeur and he really thought he was a lot more important than he was. I mean, after he returned from Russia, he expected to be interviewed by the press. He actually made up example answers to potential questions because he thought there would be a press conference when he returned, and there was none. So he had a few violent tendencies. He wasn't always that good with his wife. So he had some problems. But I don't think he was ever officially diagnosed with anything.
Right. No, but Oswald did take a shot at someone previously.
That's true.
He tried to shoot General Walker, who was a prominent, radical, sort of right-wing guy in Dallas.
Right.
And he really scoped it out. He took pictures of the alleyway where he was going to hide out, and he had his escape.
Now, was this? I've never heard of that. Was this known before the assassination attempt or the assassination?
No.
Well, they knew that the general was shot out, but
they didn't know.
They had no idea what had happened. It was only afterwards because Oswald's wife knew. He left behind this note telling her what to do if he was picked up and didn't come home. Because he kind of thought he'd be arrested or killed.
Oh yeah,
and
that would happen.
She called him on it when he came home, and she kept this note and she showed it to the Warren Commission, and they determined that he was the one that shot at this general. And she knew what he was doing. She made him promise never to do that again.
Yeah, hey, on your way home, just come straight home.
Pick up some milk, and shoot General Walker.
Try not to
I
shoot
needed
anyone.
to tell you this, but please don't attempt any assassinations on the way home.
Now with the
So,
go ahead, Len.
How much does Oswald play into the story, into your story, as a character?
Oh, in our story, he plays a pretty big role.
Yeah.
He's not the mastermind, and we're not going to tell you who that is. You have to read the book, but he plays a pretty big role. But like you said, we don't paint him as any kind of genius or hero because I don't think that would be. He just wasn't, and I don't want to glorify him in any way because he was kind of a malcontent and a loser and a little bit crazy.
Right.
So
he sure is famous, though.
That's true. He
sure
achieved his infamy, and I think that's one of the things he wanted.
Just what he wanted.
Yeah.
Notoriety. In our book, we also have a lot of people forget about police officer J.D. Tippett.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Who Oswald pretty much is certain that Oswald killed him that day. And people could talk about a body double, but there were witnesses that saw him kill Officer Tippett, who was just an innocent guy going about his business. And he's in our book as well.
Yeah, he's one of the big characters in the book.
He's the main character, and he was a great guy. He was a nice person. He was a family man. He held down several jobs, and he's kind of a hero in our book, as well as Mrs. Ruth Payne, and she's the woman who Oswald's wife lived with at the time, and Oswald had stored his rifle in the garage. The Oswalds did not live together. He lived in a rooming house, and his wife, Marina, lived with Mrs. Payne. And she figures pretty prominently in the story as well. And she's kind of a feisty person. She's still alive today. She's about 80 years old.
She certainly doesn't listen to anybody when they tell her not to do stuff.
What's that?
No,
She doesn't listen when they tell her not to go to a strip bar.
She does not.
Yeah.
But there were a few things that, from what we've read about her. There was a great story where, I think it was in the 80s and the 90s, she refused to pay a portion of her federal income taxes because she didn't agree with how they were spending on military and war-type activities.
Right.
She didn't agree with that, so she withheld something like 40% of her taxes because that's what she estimated would have gone towards those programs.
That's valid. I should think about that.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I like that idea.
I thought that was great.
She didn't get away with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get to pick and choose.
Eventually they pick up on that.
Yeah.
So she figures pretty prominently, and there were some other anecdotal stories where she refused to sign her police affidavit or description, whatever it was, until they fixed all the spelling errors and things like that.
Yeah,
she's kind of a feisty lady. And
That's awesome. Hey, I got a question for you guys. How long did you guys do? How long did you research before you started writing, or did you guys just like dive into it and then the research as you went?
Well, it was kind of simultaneous because we started with the idea and we had some knowledge, but we weren't the experts that we are today. So we spent a lot.
I'm
of
talking about
time
time travel. I'm not talking about Kennedy.
Sorry, time travel.
I'm not talking about Kennedy. No, actually, I am talking about Kennedy.
Well, we are still researching that. Then,
Yeah. We kind of
We'll have already told you when we
Yes.
fix it.
Oh yeah, it'll
only take them a minute.
simultaneously, because the first, I think, 40% or so of the book takes place in the alternate universe of the present day. So we could start doing that without doing a whole lot of research on the Kennedy assassination. So we did it simultaneously. And the whole process took 6 years.
Wow.
So 6 years of reading and research and writing and
Going to Dallas.
writing and visiting places and talking to the experts. And we did a lot of outlining before we even started chapters. We wrote everything on index cards because we were trying to map out, like you said, we interspersed the fact and the fiction. And it was very hard to do that and to give people motivations for doing what they did, but to still stick to the facts as much as possible. So it took a lot of rewriting and working on that before we could really draft our chapters.
Yeah, a lot of these people don't really have obvious motivations.
Mm-hmm. Now I've got one question about the book, and this is something that caught me when I was reading it. There's one point where J.D. Tippett comes back. He's been off investigating something. And he comes back to the group, to the house where they're at, and he says, "Houston, we've got a problem." Did you guys? Was that intentional?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's one of our favorite
What
ones.
do you mean? Is that intentional? Are you kidding me,
Well,
John?
because it was 1963. That line didn't come out until 1970. What, 1972 or 1971?
Right. When Tom
Well,
Hanks first said it.
We tried to have fun while we were doing this
Right.
because it was so difficult. And sometimes we would make little jokes with each other. And I'd say, "Oh, I'm just kidding," or he'd say, "He's just kidding," and the other one would say, "No, let's put that in there."
Yeah.
And we would just laugh our heads off about it.
Right.
So we put in a lot of little things like that
Yeah.
kind of amused us along the way.
Yeah.
And hopefully some people will pick up on it and get a little chuckle.
Yeah, because reading a time travel book, I was trying to pick up if there were any errors, because it's difficult. A lot of movies and stuff you will see where they put in something that shouldn't be there for that time.
Yeah, John got to that part, and he's like, "Oh, this does not make any sense at all."
No, that wasn't it. But the way it was, I was wondering if it was kind of like a comedic relief, or if it was.
It's just like
So it was definitely intentional comedic relief.
Very good. Now, as far as the time travel, was that just something you came up with, or was that the method with the antimatter? Was that something you kind of researched as far as that's a theory?
True.
No. I mean, it's as far as that's
Building one in
a
the basement
no,
right now.
no.
Well,
but
that's kind of the I think the direction that the research is going. If it is to happen, you'd have to have something like that to power a time machine, be antimatter, without destroying the whole world. You know, I think they said it would take all the energy in the universe, you know, theoretically, to go back in time.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know,
So we kind of made that up.
Yeah, we just thought antimatter. Why not anti-time? Same thing. Right?
that's good. The one thing I did like that was interesting that I had never thought of, and I never saw it brought up in a book or a movie about time travel, was the fact that, you know, the Earth still is moving while you're traveling in time. So they had to recalculate for where the Earth was going to be when they arrived, you know, in the future or in the past, or. And
That was Dave's idea.
Yeah, that's something that always
I thought that
bothered
was
me.
genius. Yeah, that was.
I
You know,
love
they go
that.
back in time and they're in the exact same spot. How does that happen? You can't do that. You got to be somewhere else.
Yeah, it was, and they had to calculate to make sure they didn't end up in the center of the Earth, or, you know, way out in space, or. Yeah,
I thought that was brilliant.
I did too.
It was difficult because we did a lot of calculations and how far are we from the sun and how many, you know, figure out the rotations and the size of the planet and all that stuff. And we got ourselves twisted up back and forth. But I love that idea. That was total Dave.
Yeah, that really made you think about it. It's like, wow, that's a good point. I'd never thought about that.
Even if you travel, that's why we tried to do everything in 1 year increments. Because
Made it easier to calculate.
Yeah.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, let's tell everybody where the book is available, where they can buy it at.
Oh, sure. Well, it's available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com and all the regular online sites that you can find. And the book is called Destination Dealey, Countdown to the Kennedy Conspiracy. Like I said, we wrote the book together as L.D.C. Fitgerald. And we also have our own website, which is the name of the book, www.destinationdealey.com. And again, spelled Dealey. We just want to mention to your listeners that it's on sale for the summer. The ebook is starting at $2.99.
Oh, very good deal.
So a bargain for your summer reading.
It is, and it's a real good book. It's a real page turner. Even though it's one of those ones where you know what's going to happen, but you're still wondering, does it happen?
Now, do you guys got a website? You guys got your own website?
Yeah,
DestinationDealey.com.
DestinationDealey.com.
Okay, DestinationDealey.com.
And you can there's links there to click on to go straight to places to buy the book.
And you could start reading now.
Oh yeah, we've got a good portion of it up there on the site that you can check it out.
Yeah, it's a great story, and I definitely recommend it. It's the way you mixed in the novel, the fiction with the facts really makes it a good page turner, and really draws you in to find out what's going to happen at the end. Even though, like I said, you kind of know what's going to happen.
Thank you.
Now, you guys, with the popularity of the alternate history type books, and obviously, I had no idea that Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter. Do you guys think that have you guys been contacted for a screenplay or anything like that?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're waiting.
But we're doing an interview with a guy that does movies in a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as I was reading this. It would make a great movie.
Oh, especially coming up on the anniversary, I think.
Oh yeah,
Well, if anyone listening has a movie studio,
you can contact us through our
website. No, we would absolutely love to get that done, and something we're thinking about, because a lot of people have said that to us. They've said they could picture it as a movie.
Oh, with the science fiction and the history tied into it, it would be a great movie.
Thank you.
3D. You get to see 3D. I like
3D.
it.
Ooh, 3D.
Yeah, we like 3D.
Oh, that would be perfect.
I know 3D.
Especially when you got to the part with the shots.
Oh yeah.
Zooming at the motorcade.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm with that.
All right, Lisa and Dave. Well, thanks for coming on with us to tell us about the book.
Yeah, thanks.
We hope it goes well, and we hope we see a movie coming out sometime in the future. So once again, it's available on DestinationDealey.com. Destination Dealey, Countdown to the Kennedy Conspiracy. L.D.C. Fitgerald is the name of the author, and it's Lisa and Dave.
It's good stuff.
All right, thanks for being on, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Lenny.
Hey, that was a good interview.
Yeah, it was a good interview. It was it really was an interesting book. The twist they put on it really did make it kind of like what's going to happen next. Kind of like in Quantum Leap, you know what's going to happen, but
what's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Yeah, you're still waiting for that to come about. Yeah, you had a little phone trouble in there. You were.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of strange. Then I was scared to try to talk. And then, but it was.
Sorry, we could hear you breathing. We knew you were there.
You know, there.
Oh boy. Yeah. So you're looking forward to working again tonight?
Hell no.
No, I know. Me either. Always so tired.
Always tired. So tired.
Yeah, but we'll have the. If you didn't catch it, we'll have the a little bit later. We'll have the information about the book on our website, so you can with the links to where to buy it and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that sounds fun. So
fun stuff.
Yeah. So you're almost done with it?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Oh, you are done. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It was good. It was good. I'm not a big reader, but it was a good book.
You've been reading a lot lately.
I know. All our guests send us a book. I got to read it.
I know. That's a good.
I wish we'd have more movie people on. I'll tell you that.
more
movie people.
Yeah, that's always good. just send the movie. I'll watch it.
Send the book on tape.
The
audio book. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're good guys.
Yeah, really good, and that a lot of twists and turns in it, and it's interesting how they went through all the characters that were really there that day, and tied them in.
Yeah, and they sound like they put a lot of work into it before they.
Oh yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I can't keep my mind on anything for 6 years. 6 days, never mind 6 years.
I was like, who are you? What am I doing?
Kennedy's dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we're gonna keep this one a little short today, right?
Yeah. We'll wrap it up.
We're just gonna do a 1 hour show. So do we have What are we looking at for our next show?